Welcome to Point Blank. This is your host, Panama Crypto. Today our guest is fomosaurus, the original Uniswap and yield farming treasure finder. Welcome, fomosaurus. Good to have you in Point Blank, my man.
Thank you so much for having me. Just really honored to be invited here and joining as a guest with some of my amazing contemporaries. I've had some crazy all-star guests here, so just happy to be here along the way.
Let's kick it off. So who is fomosaurus in real life?
I'm a project manager by day at a cloud-based software firm. Love to say I'm still young and really energetic and stuff, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Just kind of a homebody these days, staying home, enjoying, taking things a bit slower and slower. And just watching charts all the time, I guess. That's pretty much it.
And digging gems for Uniswap.
Yeah, the gems. Oh, I hate that term gem, but I suppose they are.
What do you call
a bad
them?
Connotation.
Prospectus?
Prospects, shitcoins. I don't know. So, something like that.
So what does fomosaurus do outside crypto? What are your hobbies?
I guess I'm still kind of a nerd. Still love my video games. I still really love my Nintendo consoles, but I don't play them as much. I tend to overbuy everything and just leave them in shrink wrap. Sometimes you play too much, you feel a little bit guilty, but I love collecting everything. So I still have tons of games. I love collecting toys, getting a little bit older, but I love those modern art pieces, like things like the Cause and Bear Bricks and stuff. Those things get really expensive, but I've been collecting them slowly over the years, trying to accumulate them, keep them in boxes. I never open anything, so I'm one of those collectors. But yeah, I guess outside of that, really love volleyball, basketball. Used to play competitive a lot more, but now I'm a bit fatter and a bit slower and don't move as much.
You used to play competitive which sport? All of them?
Yeah. Oh, well, volleyball. Yeah. One of those, those nimble, short Asian teams that are really good or something.
Intramural doesn't count as competitive.
Yeah. No. A bit more than intramural, but not like pro or anything, but just, locally. Yeah. But yeah, outside of that, I think, I really love photography and film, and that's something that's always kind of stuck to me. Studied it before, so I find it as, a really great medium of expression and kind of output and stuff. So naturally just watch a lot of movies and television, and that kind of inspires me.
The regular geek.
Yeah, the 40-year-old version, but I'm not 40 yet, but the same thing with the toys in the boxes and
so you're not actively playing any games?
Yeah, I have these spurts where I play a lot, but then I just feel bad because I could be looking at charts or something. So yeah, I got obsessed with Animal Crossing a couple months ago, and it just killed me just playing 12, 14 hours a day. It's
wow.
Yeah. it was the start of isolation. So it's I'm not proud of it, but it happens.
How you got into crypto, when this addiction started for you?
Yeah, I think I actually got in around fall 2013. That was a bit before Mt. Gox got screwed over. So I remember it was I think it was summer or fall, and I drove around town to buy all this all these graphic cards, the 280Xs, and I built these milk carton mining rigs, and I installed them in the basement. So I think when I bought it, it was around Bitcoin was trading at about $1,200. So I was totally in this euphoria mode. But then it crashed. But right before it crashed, I started this side business. It was an online business venture. So back then, if you needed to mine, you need these things called riser cards because your PCIe slots were, you didn't have enough of them. So I tried to monetize that in different ways just to kind of bet on the market. So I ended up buying, I think I sourced $10,000-$15,000 worth from China. I stored them in a fulfillment center, and I was killing it the first month. But then the entire market just tanked. I think it dipped to 600. I totally capitulated. I sold all my mining equipment at a loss, and then nobody would buy those riser cards anymore. So I had to just let it go because I couldn't afford the monthly storage costs. So I just it was total loss. And then I think in early 2014, I cashed out all my Bitcoin. It wasn't that much, but I remember I went on Kraken. It was I sold it for $450, maybe $500. And I never looked at crypto again. It was just so defeating. was like, fuck this. And then, but yeah, I came back. I came back in 2017, like early 2017, took it serious again. And then, yeah, I guess the rest is history, because everybody knows how 2017 went. It was insane. But if you ask me,
I hadn't heard yet a capitulation and a return to crypto. It's a new one.
yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm the first one. Wow. Okay, I'm proud of that. Then.
When you jump it back in crypto after your first stint, like 2016?
It was early 2017. Yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't miss the all season, right?
No. I caught all of them, but it's not like I sold the top for everything. I was one of those that learned harsh lessons in 2018 as well. Yeah,
same here.
high five, man. Yeah. So that was good. It was a lesson learned, but I think it was useful and valuable, because it kind of reinforced me to understand that it was more so about timing, and I don't think it was skill. 2017 wasn't skill for me.
Same here.
Yeah,
complete luck.
Yeah, exactly. It was good timing. But you have to have steel hands to hold through 2017, 2018, 2019. And I still had some bags, I'm not gonna lie. But I think during that period, it really kind of reinforced me to learn a bit more. So I'm thankful for that as well.
Did you got into the masternode Degen staking and setup?
Of course I did. There's a few masternodes I bought at the top of the market actually in December. It was bad. I remember I put in like 50K into two of them. And
damn.
Yeah, and one of them is just totally gone now. It's just dead. It's called Bulwark. I know they did like a token swap to like data mine or something like that.
I was big in Bulwark also.
Oh man, okay, it's a lot of common similar portfolios. Yeah.
What was the name of this marketing guy? The guy that was running the marketing and dump on all of us.
Oh man, I forget. But they did a token swap. You know that, like a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah, I still had my shares, and it turned into this like I think it's like an elastic supply coin, but it's too late to get it now, unfortunately.
Oh, like once a coin like goes rogue or goes to shed, I like completely get rid of it. It's like wanting to become a hardcore community member.
Yeah, pretty much. Those are lessons that I'll always remember.
Yeah, because the community, like the ones that try to revive the coin, but like, come on, like it's already dead.
Yeah, it's
really hard to revive a coin.
Yeah, it's a valiant effort, but I totally agree. Sometimes it's hard to rally the community back together.
Oh, like my recommendation: if the dev dumps on you and abandons the coin, get rid of it, count it as a loss, and move on. It's a waste of time like trying to revive a coin.
Yeah, I wish you told me this in 2017.
I guess you didn't follow me back then.
No, I did follow you. Know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I did. Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. No hard feelings.
Damn. Well, Bulwark was one of the few coins that exit scammed me.
Yeah, for sure. And I had another one.
I had like one or two or three tops. Fortunately, because I've heard nightmare stories.
Yeah, no, same. I think I only operated a few of them. But I do have another masternode coin. It's called Four. Four was like a fork of like Pivx or something, and it's actually still active. And I'm still quite interested in it, but I'm not sure where it's going to go. But that's the last I'll ever touch them.
So, what current crypto projects you got going on right now?
So it's kind of cool because the past month I've just kind of vastly built the network, and very fortunate to have these new opportunities. And I joined a team recently. I can't talk too much about the product yet, but just over the past few months, I just kind of realized, after using Uniswap a bit more extensively, that there's not that many tools and resources to help a lot of traders. There's DEX tools and everything, but I think we've kind of identified maybe a gap in the market and just trying to offer something a little bit interesting to see if we can help some people. But outside of that, Yeah, there's a few more things kind of brewing in the background, but nothing substantial yet. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of inquiries from people wanting me to open like Telegram groups and channels. So if I can have some value add, I'd love to offer that, and then just kind of do things more that's community focused to help others, and to kind of engage more directly, I suppose.
Are you really in love with your 9 to 5 career, or you are planning to shift some time into full-time crypto, or is this something that doesn't appeal to you?
That's a great question. Yeah. I mean, I love my job still, but I think I'm getting to that inflection point where I can see that there's a possible transition, and that's something that I'm curious about for the other people that have actually transitioned, just to get their thoughts on that. So I think there's this fear of me where you might just struggle, or you're thinking about your next mortgage payment, or having to pay for rent or your next meal. So I've only been provided this opportunity, been able to do so due to unfortunate circumstances, because of COVID. But it's also kind of reinforced the idea that this might be possible, I think, going into the future. But also, everybody is a good trader in a bull market. You know what I mean? So it's like, so what happens if we go back to, like 2018 year? It's like, I'm just not sure if I'm that good yet, but, still learning every day. But if I can do something substantial and try to monetize it, yeah, I'd love to.
Well,
Lots of art.
in my case, before I went full-time crypto in end of 2018, in mid bear season,
Yeah.
I had a professional career. Until that point, I had like something like 13 years working on different levels of international companies here in Panama. My last stint on corporate was in Adidas. I used to be the marketing controller for Latin America. And after that, I used to do electronic payments and fraud prevention. And I used to really love my work, but on 2017, that high vibe was like, dude, I think I could do this for a living. Like, saying that like I'm a fucking genius. And fortunately for me, it went pretty good. And on 2018, I wrote pretty well the Masternode hype. And
that's amazing.
It was a really good year for me. So I had good savings to do the jump of leap of faith, and I have a 4-year-old and a wife to sustain. So I was a bit hesitant to do the jump at the beginning, but after the first year in full-time crypto, so basically at the beginning of this year, I was starting to feel real comfortable, and things started to be more mellowed. Like at the first year was a real stressing situation because
it's all hustle, is it?
It's all hustle, and you're used to having that paycheck month to month. You don't have to sweat it. You just have to work your 9 to 5 and fuck it. In crypto, like, well, there's many means of getting income, like trading, mining, and hustling in marketing, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I've been doing trading and hustling and marketing in crypto. So I here the energy is so expensive that doing mining is not profitable. So at least those two means of income have been really good to me at the moment. So if you're good on either one of those, or good on both, go for it, man. Like if it's something that you love to do and you see yourself doing for quite a while, and it also opens you doors for other things in the realms of opening your creativity to do things that you might like doing, like be a freelance writer, doing podcasts, shit post post memes, pepes, whatever.
Some people are really good at that.
Yeah, like they're hitting their big time, their creative side. So go for it if you're into that, man.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. No, it's really it's really inspiring to hear this, because I'm not sure how far away I am from it, but if it's 1 to 2 years out, if it's 6 months out, just know that it's possible. Is you know, the prospects of that is nice.
If I do it, anybody can.
Hey, you're an OG, man. You're a real
Yeah.
OG.
OG, that nomenclature of OG is pre 2016, so not
Yeah,
not
that's
quite
good.
there yet.
That's true. In a few years, you will be.
Yeah, maybe. This episode is brought to you by PrimeXBT, the exchange that makes possible to trade with leverage on legacy markets from a single Bitcoin-based account. So, fomosaurus, can you walk us through your secret sauce for finding these so-called gems?
Yeah, so I think, to be honest, it's just a lot of DD and research, I guess. It's kind of interesting now because you see a lot of these big accounts like the Crypto Dog and Gainsey, and they're giving shout outs to like the tiny accounts. And I think a lot of that stuff has merit, to be honest, because some of the smaller accounts, yeah, I find that they're a bit more agile, and they're kind of more receptive to a lot of different things, and to where they source their knowledge as well. So to be honest, like I feel a lot of them have a really keen eye on how to find these, upcoming narratives and like trend changes and all that stuff. And usually by the time it hits kind of critical mass, those guys are on to like the next things already. So yeah, I've just learned to not be kind of ignorant, and to dismiss any projects, right from the get-go. And there's usually like very good discourse in, these smaller communities and things like and discords and telegrams and all that stuff. And to be honest, I think just parsing through those areas, it is where I found a lot of the Polkadot stuff and all these things. So the knowledge that you find there is immensely helpful. But there's also like a few guys on Twitter. I don't know how they do it, but they just always DM me, and they're always the first to find something. And then usually a few days later, I always end up finding it. And it'd be that time that I would buy it. But when they send it to me, I just totally dismiss it. And it's been happening for like weeks and weeks at a time now. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to start listening to you. So maybe that's just happening, on a larger scale now. Like a lot of larger accounts are starting to take notice. But yeah, so shout out to the smaller accounts. It's like guys with like 800 followers or 2,000 followers. They're just all incredible with their research. But then there's the other side of it too. Like if you're looking to just like scalp like shit coins on like Uniswap, like the process there, it's pretty simple, to be honest. It's like you check for some Uniswap scanners, and then you just kind of do your DD. You check the order books, maybe open DEX tools, make sure there's some buys and sells, make sure that the contract's kind of legit. And then like usually something else I do is just to do a quick search for some cash tags on Telegram, just to see if they have any kind of presence or website or something. It's not a perfect kind of process, but it does kind of eliminate some of the risks that's involved in it. And sometimes that can be extremely profitable. Like if you're talking like 10 or 20 X's, that's usually how you find it. And you try to have that first mover's advantage to be like the top 10, top 20 wallet or something. But to be honest, I kind of do that a bit less now, but I think that's how everybody kind of discovered my account, because that's how I found Anti-Ample and then like Ruse and all that stuff. But yeah, the more that I guess I have more followers, I feel I have a little bit more of a responsibility to just not share these kind of high risk plays as much. I still do them personally, but sharing them, I feel like I don't. It's kind of like a game of hot potato sometimes. But yeah, I mean, there's two very good ways. So checking the scanners or just doing the DD and checking discords and all that stuff to understand the trend changes and everything. I think in general though, it's just a little bit harder because in this new market cycle now, even these tiny kind of independent projects, they're doing like 1,000, 3,000 like ETH raises and stuff in private sale rounds. It's crazy. And usually these smaller projects, they don't really have good token metrics. So it kind of encourages a lot of the private, buyers to just kind of dump on you as soon as it lists. So, the scammers, the projects, they're kind of adapting as well. So you need to always be on your toes and just, you have to be very aware of these things because it's so fluid from week to week.
Yeah, it's reminiscent exactly to what the Masternode hype was back in 2018.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah, no,
very
definitely.
similar.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And, it's obviously I kind of played into that narrative as well and I got screwed, but yeah, now just being a little bit more careful about it. But there's so many rug pulls. Yeah, it's a dangerous place for a beginner.
Yeah, no doubt. The most profitable and safest quote unquote play would be to enter a coin that hasn't listed and is sort
Hmm.
of on a pre-sale. How do you find
Yeah.
these? Like it's not even listed on Uniswap. How do you find this all these projects that are coming out? Like there's at least new dozen coins every day. Like how do you keep up with that?
Yeah. I wish I had a good process for this. Yeah, but this is where I give credit to a lot of these communities because these guys, they're so resourceful and they tend to find them. And I'm just kind of I just really appreciate them, for kind of discovering these things because on my own, there's no way I could find all these gems, quote unquote gems, like every single week. They're always from the telegrams and discords.
So basically, the community itself is the one that finds
Pretty
the
much.
gems.
Yeah, pretty much. So credit, yeah. So I have to give credit to everybody, yeah, that's involved in these communities.
Is there any specific communities that you would like to share, or these are top secret
Well, there,
gem finder communities that only ultra secret accounts can join?
um, yeah. I mean, some of these are private, and I'm not sure how much alpha I want to give out right now. But
Of course.
but I can, yeah, but I can send these to you over DM.
Oh, nice. You can send them afterwards.
Yeah.
So, any crypto projects you're most excited about?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm always trying to find kind of the next wave of what's going to become big. And right now, obviously, the buzzwords of Polkadot and all that stuff, Cosmos, those are going to become big, of course. And then they fit into the whole DeFi realm as well. So some projects that I'm really curious about, see how the market responds to them, are like the new the liquid staking platforms. So those are launching like projects like Staffy and Kyra Core, Keysions, Bifrost, Acala. And I think the concept, like how they work, is that they basically let you stake your assets, and then you can earn the normal interest on them. But they also allow you to produce a synth asset that's equal to the value of it. So then you can use that on the open market and start trading with it. So even though your assets are locked, and they're technically kind of illiquid, you still have the synth asset that you can trade the equal value to. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm really curious how the market's going to react to that. It seems like all the new projects, that's coming out in the space, they, have some variation of that.
Can you share your current bags?
Of course. I'm not sure if they're great bags, but so what I have right now, some of my long-term assets are RSR. I have Thorchain, of course, Ren. I have Teller.
I got run.
Oh yeah, it's a great one. Yeah, I rode that one all through 2018. I loved it.
You got into the pre-sale?
No, I just I just bought it. So I remember, I think it was like early 2018. So I thought I missed the boat on Chainlink. So then I bought Ren just as a hedge, and it was kind of like the secondary best performer, I think, on Binance for a long period of time. But yeah, so I just held on to that for a long time until I guess their mainnet launch. Yeah, so I have Teller, I have Orion, I have Aleph, Dia, NXM, Katon, Serum, Mantra DAO. So lots of kind of Polkadot parachain stuff, and mostly kind of DeFi focused.
You sound like Mocho in 2017.
Oh no, why, is that good or bad?
Because he had like all the coins. Any coins that was out there, he had it.
Yeah,
No matter which one.
Yeah, I mean, my portfolio in 2013 was worse. Like, I was just so spread thin. But I've tried to kind of keep it focused now. I have a few long-term bags that I've just held all through. I barely ever traded them, like Thorchain and to RSR. But Thorchain's been good. I've just been staking them pretty much as soon as they launched, and my cost basis has decreased like crazy.
Just compounding.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Launch is coming out like probably next week.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah, we'll see how that how that works.
So, fomosaurus, to yield farm or not to yield farm? The big question.
Yes, I would say that's an absolute yes. If you can get in early and farm anything, like your network share is crazy. Like the first day, you'll have some really big winners. Of course, there's lots of risks involved. Like most of these projects, their code is totally unaudited. But I think people are getting a bit more conscious of that, and also the projects are a bit more aware, and they're taking some more measures to kind of help with that as well. But yeah, if we're thinking like something like sushi, like sushi's become extremely popular today. Even Arthur Hayes is like farming that, and so is SBF as well. And then like yam's been forked like over like 140 times or something like that already. It's pretty crazy. So definitely, I would recommend people to at least to look into it. If you have any kind of unproductive assets, it's just kind of sitting on the sideline, it might be worthwhile, and you would be surprised how much yield you can actually get if you join it early.
How does one farm? How does that actually work?
It's not really that hard. I guess the concept is pretty much the same as staking. Except on some platforms you might be lending your assets out. But if we're just talking YAM and stuff, it's mostly just you just deposit your like pool. It's like your Uniswap pool like tokens, into their platforms, and then you just generate yield. They all work the same pretty much. So if you're thinking about farming produce like vegetables and like ham, yam, like grapes, I don't even know. Like those platforms are all pretty much the same.
As an example, YFB,
yeah,
the farming there is basically you can take the native coin, which is YFE, and you can also add to that in the pool either RAN or I think it was USDT or Ethereum or any other of the ERC based. Does the other coins work exactly the same way?
It's pretty much the same principle behind it. Most of the YFV stuff, though, they do have balancer pools for it. So you'll see that depending on the pool that you join, your yield may be significantly different based on your kind of network shares. So I think right now, some of the ones that are giving some really good yield are still like the balancer ones. I think it's like last I checked, like 900 and something APY. 900 some percent APY.
So many projects. How you keep up with them? Like, do you actively trade them, or you just leave them staking? How does fomosaurus does it?
It's pretty exhausting, to be honest. I don't trade all of them. That's why I kind of like to have a nice blend or a good mix. Some of my unproductive assets, just kind of farming something. But then, yes, I do have my long-term positions. I do pretty much daily trades on Uniswap still, but I love trading on FTX as well. Getting liquidated every week there, just being a degen. But I mean, I'm happy to give my money to SBF. He's amazing, and his team is incredible.
Sam is amazing. Kind of like... I give him my free money also.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just
Serum exchange is going live tomorrow.
I know, that's crazy. So I thought that was going to launch weeks from now. Not sure how he develops at such like a breakneck speed, but it's just with everything he launches with FTX, it's just incredibly fast.
He doesn't sleep.
He really doesn't sleep. Did you see that photo of him sleeping in like bean bags?
I actually think he's a vampire.
Oh, it's amazing. But yeah, just honestly keeping track of this stuff, just lots of apps, lots of notes, lots of Discords and Telegrams, and just keeping an open mind to all the projects, really.
And off to the last question. When to exit these gems? When do you know this cycle is over?
That's a good question. I'd say if you're buying early into maybe an emerging trend, you just can slowly kind of accumulate and hold them for a few months. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now with the parachain stuff. This stuff has been around. It's just, it wasn't really mainstream on Twitter yet. So a lot of these, kind of low cap things, like some people are sitting really comfortable right now. And I don't even know if they kind of engage in active selling yet, because most of the parachains, they're still under 10 million market cap right now. I think they still have a lot more runway to go. And then also, but I would say if you're farming things like vegetables and produce, the shelf life on those are probably much shorter. So I don't think I'd hold those for longer than a week or two. But it's hard to say because the landscape is changing so fast. But just based on my experience, you're always going to lose out to somebody else that has a much more network share than you. So just try to sell it before they do. And it's not to say some of these projects might not become something substantive in the future. Like they might become something real. But then, a lot of people think, things like DeFi are kind of going away soon. But then you have things like Litecoin that's still in the top 10 market cap. So I think there's still a lot more runway for, pretty much all these segments in crypto. So generally DeFi, I would say, I tend to just kind of hold those and to not trade them too much. And then parachains, I'm still holding for a while. I do trade actively, all my Yoke Farm stuff. That's kind of it, I suppose.
If this DeFi hype lasts the same as Masternode, as I remember, it should be 9-10 months. And if we're 4 months into it, we still have 6 months.
That's a good point.
So I think there's chance for exponential growth still.
I
even
think so
if we were on halfway.
I think so as well. Because if you look at the total value that's locked in right now, I think in total we're still under 9 billion right now. That's not much. That's for every single DeFi project across the entire segment. So there's still a lot more room to grow right now. That's just my opinion, of course, but I also feel like with these DeFi protocols and platforms, there's actually real product market fit. People are actually using them. So that's what's a little bit different from the masternodes, I suppose, from 2017, is that they're solving a problem that, is actually, requires solving, I suppose.
Yeah, the great thing also is that there's a lot of liquidity. Back then in 2018, there was absolutely no liquidity to get rid of your bags.
Exactly.
And with that thought, we end our episode. I'm very happy to have hosted fomosaurus on Point Blank. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so much for having me. So it's really fun.
Can you tell us where we can find you?
Just right now on Twitter at fomosaurus. I'm also available on Telegram, under the same name. So just give me a ping. Just give me a message anytime.
Sweet. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Peace.
This episode was brought to you by PrimeXBT, the exchange where you can trade without KYC on legacy markets with your Bitcoin. You can trade commodities like gold, silver, oil, even indexes and forex. Join now and get a 50% bonus on top of your deposit for trading at u.primexbt.com/Panama.